Welcome back to our Black History Month edition of Public Affairs on Peach. I'm Vince Sims. My guest is Angel Tate. Angel, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me today.
All right, Angel, glad to be able to share your story with people because, as you were saying, your story starts with something that happened to you that was very bad when you were just 13 years old, but the love of your parents and the viola got you through that. Explain this to us.
Right, so at 13, I was raped and I became a survivor of sexual assault. And I was playing viola at that time for a few years. I started in middle school, or elementary school rather. And so through switching schools and having to navigate through being a rape survivor and feeling kind of confused and not having confidence, viola was something that made me feel special, and it gave me confidence. And, you know, orchestra friends or orchestra kids usually don't have friends, you know, so I didn't have to worry about them talking about what had happened or about them bringing it up. I could just play viola, and people saw that. They didn't see Angel, the rape survivor, or the girl who transferred schools. So that definitely lifted my spirits, and my parents were able to see that I wanted to do that, and they moved schools for me and they sacrificed so I could do that.
Wow, that is amazing, and the survival story of that. So now you're taking this instrument, the viola, that helped you through this situation, and now you want to transition that into helping others?
Definitely. So in October, I had gotten laid off from my job, and I'd always wanted to open a nonprofit organization to give kids what I didn't have, or what I had actually, but some kids don't have that. So I founded the Journey School of Visual Performing Arts, and its mission is to inspire, motivate, and transform youth through arts education, because, you know, it can be very expensive. My parents could afford a viola and lessons and the orchestra classes and things like that, but not all kids can afford those things. So I made it my personal mission to set out and give kids an outlet to work through those things and to have the opportunities that my parents gave me.
And we're showing some of the video now, and it's not just instruments. I mean, I see dance, I see art. So is this going to be all-inclusive of all arts?
Definitely. If you look on the website, we say that we want to offer music, dance, film, theater, art, and design. So that's super exciting. I won't be teaching like I kind of was in the video. It was just for fun. But my strength is facilitating those kind of environments for people. So I'm very excited to see kids kind of discover themselves and work through their issues, even if it's not something as traumatic as rape. Maybe their parents aren't home. Maybe they just don't have a sense of confidence in themselves, and art is what gives that to them. But I think in any respect, youth need that because they often resort to gang activity or violence, isolation, destructive behaviors, and those things can really tear away at you. Yeah.
Now, as you're doing this and you want to work with the youth, but you have a specific section of town that you would like to focus in and build your school.
Right.
Explain where and why you chose that.
So I grew up in South Atlanta, which is a great place, Southwest Atlanta, but I really want to focus on Southeast Atlanta. I've been through there, and it's one of my favorite areas because it has a lot of talent and it's very raw. And it is lower income neighborhoods, a few areas of it. So the reason I want to be in that area is because I want to access those kids. I think it's crazy when people have organizations for people in that population, but they're not accessible. So it's very important to me that it's somewhere where they can get to, whether by walking or by train or by bus. And I want to be right there, kind of like a haven for them or a home. And if they can't access it, then this would be a waste of my time.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a place for it to start, but you obviously have plans for it to expand. That's not the only location you want.
Definitely. Right? People have been asking me if I want to do it in Chicago, which is where I went to school, or Detroit, where I have friends. And my mom mentioned San Diego, and those things kind of blow my mind because I'm just starting in Atlanta. But I think this is something that all students need in all areas, and there are a lot of cities in the United States that have a ton of talent like Atlanta, but they don't all have the resources to give to that specific group of children. So maybe one day we'll go.
Well, let that be the seed that is planted now, that this is where it's, we're just going to call that destiny right now. It's going to be in all these other places as well, with Atlanta as the home base.
Right.
So with this, and we know it's going to grow and go national, where are you in the process right now and getting it started here?
So right now I'm in the middle of our Start the Adventure campaign for $10,000. Seems like such a big number. And this $10,000 will enable me to retain a lawyer, file all the applications, pay the fees, and be copyrighted and trademarked. So the campaign launched January 30th and we end March 5th, so we're somewhere right in the middle. I don't look at the donation page. I don't like to psych myself out. I just trust that people who believe will end up donating. But that's where we're at right now. So after the campaign is done, all those things will come into fruition with the lawyer and being federally licensed and things like that, so that we can start on the fun stuff like building and hiring teachers and recruiting students. So that's where we're at.
That's where you're at with it right now. And so let's talk a little bit more about how this outlet, I guess, made you a survivor. You came through this because of this outlet. How important is it to have an outlet no matter what you're going through?
It's so important because at 13, you don't really conceptualize what it means to be raped or violated. And it really tears on your self-esteem, even if you don't know what really is going on. So there were moments when I didn't have the words to say. I didn't have the people to talk to because I didn't know what to say to them. But I had this instrument that made me feel like I could talk to it, you know. In practicing and being with my orchestra friends, it gave me a sense of belonging because I had to switch schools and because it was kind of awkward talking to my parents about it. It was awkward going to state mandated therapy. You know, it was weird having to explain to your friends why you have to move schools and you're not really understanding why things have to be this way. So I think having an outlet like that, especially for people who don't have anyone to talk to, is super important because through viola and understanding expression, I gained the confidence in other areas of my life. So now I'm comfortable talking about it because I had some time to myself to work through it and to understand and to let out the anger. I don't know who I'd be if I were still bitter about that situation.
Yeah. And as you're getting this started and working with other youth, and we were seeing in the video there, are you hearing from some of these young people the inspiration that you are and like how you're helping them? Are you hearing those stories?
I am, and it's so humbling because it makes my face turn red and I just feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside, and I can't take compliments that well. It's something I'm working on, but I'll get anonymous messages on my social media or emails or on the donation page. People say they're so inspired or they're so proud or they can't wait to see where it goes. And that's just overwhelmingly amazing. It's great to see that people from different backgrounds, different ethnic groups, different age groups are inspired by something. And I always tell people it's not me, it's the vision that's put through me, because I don't want people to see me, I want them to see the vision that I see, if that makes any sense.
It does make sense. A lot of people that are doing great things want to be in the background, but that's one of the main reasons we want to have people like you here on our show so people can see the great work that you're doing. And by seeing the great work, then hopefully they'll be able to donate in and help your vision continue to become what you want it to be and to grow. So if people are interested, as we were saying, you mentioned a website earlier. What is your website for this? So
the website is www.tjsvpa.org or thejourneyschoolvpa.org. I just shortened it because that's kind of long. So it's tjsvpa.org, and my information's on there. You can email, call, text, but don't call after 10. And I'm accessible through all my social media. It's me posting on behalf of the organization. So if ever you're talking to the organization, you're talking to me.
Talking to you. All right. I know that you say that you aren't comfortable with getting the compliments, but you are doing great work.
Thank you.
And take that inspiration and continue to grow with it. And we want to stay in touch with you and see how this progresses and grows, because it's a great thing what you're doing.
I'm excited. Thank you.
All right. If you have one last thing to tell people to explain what you're doing and why it's so important to connect with you, what would you want to say?
I would want to say that they need to believe in our community and that change isn't possible unless you step in and change yourself. So if we want to see change for whatever reason in our communities, our neighborhoods, we have to be the ones to put the time and the energy and the resources in. So help me do that.
All right, excellent. Angel Tate, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Continue doing the great work that you're doing.
Thanks.
All right, have a good day. All right, our next segment is about a push to get more African Americans interested in the law.